You know, a lot of people think finance is complicated. They believe you need a special degree or a fancy job to really understand money. But honestly, that just isn't true. The most important lesson about money is actually very simple. It all comes down to knowing the difference between two words, an asset and a liability. This single idea is the foundation of wealth. It's the dividing line between financial struggle and financial freedom. If you want to build a secure future, you really have to start here. This knowledge is more powerful than a big paycheck because it teaches you how to make your money work for you instead of you always working for money. So, what is an asset? An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. Think of it as a loyal employee that works for you day and night, making you richer. It generates income, it adds to your cash flow. That's the key. An asset brings money to you without you having to trade your time for it. It could be a small business that runs on its own, a stock that pays you dividends, or a book that earns you royalties. The rich focus their lives on acquiring these income-generating things. They understand that every dollar spent on an asset is a seed planted for a future harvest of more dollars. On the other hand, what is a liability? A liability is the exact opposite. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. It's a financial hole that you constantly have to fill. It consumes your income. It creates expenses. These are the things that keep people trapped in the rat race, working harder and harder just to pay their bills. A liability could be a loan you have to pay back with interest, a subscription service that drains your account each month, or expensive gadgets that lose value and cost money to maintain. The middle class and the poor often fill their lives with liabilities, thinking they are assets. This simple distinction really changes everything. It's not about how much money you earn, it's about what you do with the money you have. I know people who earn a lot but are always broke. They have high incomes, but they also have high expenses from all their liabilities. I also know people with modest incomes who are becoming wealthy. They use their money to buy assets. Over time, the income from their assets grows and eventually covers all their expenses. This is the path to financial independence. It starts with asking one simple question before every purchase. Will this put money in my pocket, or take it out? Let's talk about the biggest purchase most people ever make, their home. My poor dad always said, our house is our biggest asset. This is the advice most people get. But is it true? Does your primary residence put money in your pocket? The answer, for most people, is no. In fact, your house is often your biggest liability. Think about it. You have a mortgage payment that takes money out of your pocket every single month. You have to pay property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. The roof leaks, the water heater breaks. It's a constant drain on your finances. It does not generate income. Now, can a house be an asset? Absolutely. A house becomes an asset when someone else pays for it and it generates positive cash flow for you. For example, if you buy a house and rent it out, it is now a rental property. If the monthly rent you collect is more than your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and repair costs, then that property is putting money in your pocket. That is an asset. The rich understand this difference. They buy real estate that pays them. The poor and middle class buy houses that they pay for, trapping their capital in a massive liability that they mistake for a secure investment. The same logic applies to your car. Many people love their cars. They see them as a status symbol, a sign of success. But a car is almost always a liability. From the moment you drive it off the lot, it starts losing value. This is called depreciation. On top of that, you have car payments, which take money from you each month. You have to pay for insurance, gas, oil changes, new tires, and unexpected repairs. A car is a money-eating machine. It constantly takes money out of your pocket. It is one of the fastest ways to destroy your wealth without even realizing it. Could a car ever be an asset? Yes, but only if it's making you money. If you are an Uber driver, your car helps you generate income. If you own a delivery business and the car is used to make those deliveries, it is part of a system that puts money in your pocket. The key is not the item itself, but its function in your financial life. The rich buy luxuries like expensive cars last with the money generated from their assets. The poor and middle class buy them first with their own hard-earned money, or even worse, with debt, digging themselves into a deeper financial hole. I was lucky to have two fathers with very different points of view on money. My poor dad was a highly educated man with a good government job. He believed in getting a safe, secure job, working hard, and saving money. His financial statement looked like this. Money came in from his salary and it went straight out to pay for taxes and liabilities like his mortgage, car payments, and credit card bills. There was very little left over. His strategy was to work for money. He focused on his income statement, always trying to get a raise. He was trapped in the rat race and he didn't even know it. My rich dad, on the other hand, had a different philosophy. He never finished the 8th grade, but he was a brilliant businessman. He taught me that the rich don't work for money, they make their money work for them. His financial statement looked completely different. He focused on his balance sheet, specifically the asset column. He used his income to buy assets, things like real estate, small businesses, and stocks. These assets then generated more income for him. His money was making more money. It was a cycle that made him richer and richer over time, whether he was actively working or not. The difference in their thinking created two completely different cash flow patterns. For my poor dad, money flowed in and then straight out to expenses and liabilities. It was a one-way street to financial struggle. For my rich dad, money flowed from his assets into his income column. He then used that new income to buy even more assets. This created a powerful self-sustaining loop of growing wealth. He was building a pipeline of money that flowed to him, while my poor dad was stuck carrying buckets back and forth from his job every day. This is why understanding the flow of money is so critical. It's not just about earning more. Many people get a pay raise, but what do? They immediately upgrade their lifestyle, they buy a bigger house or a fancier car, they increase their liabilities, so even though their income went up, their expenses went up with it, and they are no better off than before. They are still stuck. The rich dad mindset teaches you to break this cycle. Instead of buying a liability with a raise, you buy an asset. That asset will then pay for your liabilities, leading to true financial freedom. Your financial future will be determined by one thing: the choices you make today. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of future you want. When you spend it on a liability, you are voting for a future of hard work and financial dependency. You are making someone else rich. The bank, the car company, the government. When you spend that same dollar on an asset, you are voting for a future of financial freedom. You are paying yourself first. You are building a foundation for a life where you are in control, not your bills. The choice is yours with every single dollar. Too many liabilities are dangerous because they create fixed expenses. These are the bills that show up every month no matter what. Mortgage, car loan, student debt, they don't care if you lose your job or get sick. They still need to be paid. This creates immense stress and fragility. A single unexpected event can lead to a financial crisis. This is the reality for millions of people who have a weak asset column and a heavy liability column. They are one step away from disaster because their expenses control them, instead of them controlling their money. Freedom is impossible under these conditions. The path to wealth is simple. Spend your life building your asset column. Start small. It doesn't matter how much you have. Buy a stock that pays a dividend. Find a small rental property that produces a little cash flow. Write a book or create a digital product. Every asset you acquire is like planting a money tree. At first, it's just a small seed. But if you keep watering it and planting more, one day you will have an entire forest that provides you with all the income you need. This is how you escape the rat race forever. So I urge you to look at your own life. Take out a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. Assets and liabilities. List everything you have. Be honest. Does it put money in your pocket or take it out? Your goal is clear. Make the asset column longer and the liability column shorter. This is not just an accounting exercise, it is the blueprint for your life. Focus on financial education, learn how to identify or create assets, and have the discipline to acquire them. This simple shift in focus is the most important investment you will ever make. It is the key to winning the game of money.